Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode in honor of Black History Month. Remember, SOAR aims to increase global reading rates through the use of audio book trailers. It may be shocking to know that Ben Carson, famous African-American surgeon, was forced to read 2 books a week by his mother, who is barely literate. He had to write reports on the books, and she would pretend to go over them and then put a checkmark at the top. This resulted in his extreme love of reading and learning. A common trend throughout history, reading is the key to becoming a better person, a more informed person, and a successful person. This goes to show just how important reading is and why SOAR aims to increase global reading rates. Today's book trailer will be for Nightjohn. Nightjohn is a book that also focuses on the importance of reading, as after all, during the horrible stain upon history in which slavery was practiced, slave owners did not want to allow slaves to read. This is because reading would educate them. It would empower them. The narrator is Sarni, a young female slave. She lives on a plantation at which one day she overhears that the master bought a new slave, an expensive one. The slaves all sleep in barracks, and that night the new slave, John, says he will trade something to anyone who can give him tobacco. Sarni is dumbfounded, as she wonders what he could possibly have to give them in exchange. He just arrived, and he came without any belongings. He tells her that in exchange, he will teach her how to read. Sarni agrees, though it is forbidden. But they meet late at night, drawing letters in the sand and learning how to read. This is why John is nicknamed Nightjohn. The reader discovers that John had escaped to the north and learned to read and write there. He was so passionate and grateful that he decided to return to the south and teach slaves how to read. One day, Sarni is caught by the slave owner drawing in the sand. He hits her and says she must tell him who has been teaching her. She is resilient, and she doesn't tell him that it was John. However, once John sees the situation, he runs up and admits that it was him. As punishment, the slave owner hammers off 2 of John's toes, leaving him screaming in pain with blood flowing from his foot. What will happen next? Will Sarni continue to learn how to read? Will John recover? Will any of the slaves be able to escape? Read to find out, and join this incredible journey of a literary hero to educate his people. For me, reading this book was an amazing experience, as I thought John was such an honorable man. He could have stayed safe in the north, but he risked his life to come to the south and teach the people how to read. He wanted their stories to survive beyond them, so that people in the future would make sure to remember just how big of a mistake the time of slavery was. Sarni's desire to learn was also impressive. I loved reading about how John was able to empower others through reading. This book is full of education, passion, bravery, strength, courage, love, friendship, hope, struggles, lessons, reading, perseverance, ambition, and is truly a book that I would recommend. Thank you for listening. I implore you,